Manchester City, back at the top of the Premier League, and return to the head of the betting for the title, host Chelsea in the game of the weekend as we look ahead to the latest round of fixtures. Fulham and Manchester United get the ball rolling in the early kickoff on Saturday, while Liverpool will look to get back to winning ways against terrible travellers Bournemouth. Here's our game-by-game guide. Fulham v Manchester United Saturday 12.3 Open. Jess Lingard told Sportsmail this week he expects Manchester United to be challenging for the title next season, and while Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was happy with that attitude, he is demanding his players don't look too far ahead. The Old Trafford boss has urged them to forget about next week's Champions League tie against Paris Saint-Germain to focus solely on getting the job done at Fulham and stretch that unbeaten run to 11 games with a 10th win. After winning at Cardiff, Newcastle, Tottenham, Arsenal, and Leicester, United are 8/13 to claim 6 straight away wins, all competitions, for the first time since May 2009. You can get 13/8 they win -1 goal on the handicap, but don't rule out Fulham scoring. Alexander Mitrovic let us down at Palace last weekend, but 8 of his 10 Premier League goals have come at Craven Cottage. You can get him and United hotshot Marcus Rashford both to score at 13 halves on the Bet365 bet builder. Crystal Palace v West Ham. West Ham have had their fair share of derby delight, winning their last 3 in a row against London rivals, having beaten Saturday's opponents at the London Stadium before winning at Fulham and then seeing off Arsenal. They'll have their work cut out to make it 4 in a row as Crystal Palace are still as miserly as ever at Selhurst Park. 11 goals conceded in 12 games is bettered only by Liverpool, 7, and Chelsea, 9. There's another low number in their goals for column 8, and only Huddersfield with 5 are worse off. A goalless draw has some appeal at 9-1, while any stalemate is 5 halves. Huddersfield v Arsenal. Could this be the week that Arsenal finally keep a clean sheet away from home? Surely. They're the only team in the division to concede in every away game, but returning to the scene of their last shutout on the road on the final day of last season gives them a chance. After all, Huddersfield have scored just 5 goals in 13 games in front of their own fans. The Gunners are no better than 5/8 for the points, but can be backed at 9/5 to win without conceding. Liverpool v Bournemouth. It is, sadly, not surprising that Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp are getting criticised after a couple of draws against Leicester and West Ham. That's criticism for Liverpool, who are second only on goal difference, have lost just once all season, and are still in the Champions League. Isn't Twitter wonderful? Klopp and company have lost their Premier League favourites tag, with City back at the head of the betting at 4/5 and the Reds 13/10. What they haven't lost is a home match for ages. 33 games to put a number on it, and with Bournemouth having lost 7 in a row on the road, conceding at least twice in every one, it'll be 34 for the Merseysiders by Saturday night. They're no better than 1/5, but you can get 4/6 HTFT. Sadio Mane has scored in his last 3 games and is 9 halves for the opener. Southampton v Cardiff. Since signing off 2018 by losing to Manchester City, no disgrace in that Southampton's only defeat was on penalties to Derby in the FA Cup. They've been racking up the draws recently, but only a penalty at the death denied them maximum points against Burnley. It was a win full of emotion for Cardiff last week, but a trip to St Mary's is a much tougher test than entertaining Bournemouth. The hosts are 4/5 to win and 4-1 to win by a couple. If both teams to score is your bet, this is worth sticking down, as that has been the outcome in 10 of Southampton's last 11 games. Watford v Everton. If there's a sure thing at Vicarage Road on Saturday, it's that Everton boss Marco Silva, returning to his former club, will not exactly be given a warm welcome. And almost as certain is that Everton will concede from a set piece. They are the league leaders when it comes to leaking goals this way. It's happened in their last 2 games and 12 times this season. Aymeric Laporte was the latest to take advantage when he headed home Man City's opener on Wednesday night, and if he was watching, Watford's Craig Cathcart might just fancy his chances of claiming a 4th goal of the campaign. He's nodded home twice in his last 4 outings, and at 16-1, BET 365, at any time, is worth a punt against the Toffees' defense. With the Silva situation and Troy Deeney hoping to kick the S out of them, this is one with the potential to bubble over. A red card is 9 halves with a few bookies. Brighton v Burnley Saturday 5.3 open. It was a brave move sticking this pair in front of the cameras on a Saturday night, as their 3 Premier League meetings so far have produced the grand total of 1 goal. James Tarkowski delighting the home fans at Turf Moor in early December. It was all they had to smile about for the best part of a month, as Burnley lost the other 6 games played between November 26 and Boxing Day 3 on each side of that narrow wind. They've turned it round since losing 1-7 to Manchester City in the FA Cup. Their last 3 league games have finished all square, and a 4th on the bounce is the pick here. Of Brighton's 7 home defeats in the Premier League across 2 seasons, only 1 has been to a team outside the Big Six. The draw is 12/5 and 1-1 is 11 halves. Spurs v Leicester Sunday 1.3 open. Son Heung-min and Tottenham got us off to a flyer last week, the South Korean claiming the only goal in the early game against Newcastle after he was flagged up to open the scoring, and for it to be a narrow win for the hosts. It was the 2nd game in a row Spurs needed a late show to take the points, and they could find Leicester as tricky as Watford and Newcastle. It would have been a different story if Lucas Moura and Fernando Llorente had taken their chance, as it's hard to imagine Harry Kane wasting as many. But he's still out. Memories of Leicester's back-to-back wins over Chelsea and Man City at Christmas are fading fast, as they've won just once since, but you have to go back to early December and the last time they faced Spurs for a defeat by more than 1 goal. It was 2-0 then, and the same again might not be the daftest bet for correct score backers. That's 15 halves, while a draw at halftime and a full-time Spurs victory is 4-1, several firms. Man City v Chelsea Sunday 4. Chelsea fans were celebrating last week as Gonzalo Higuain opened his account with a couple of crackers, and Eden Hazard gave Real Madrid yet another glimpse of what they're getting when the most drawn-out transfer saga finally comes to an end. But this was against Huddersfield. It was an impressive win and much needed for Maurizio Sarri, but it came after that 4-0 drubbing at Bournemouth. The Blues would probably have chosen an easier venue for the next away game than the Etihad Stadium, where City have won 12 of their 13 games, scoring 43 goals and conceding just 11. A home win looks absurd here at 8/15, while City are 21/10 to win, with both teams scoring. Sky Bet have boosted their Argentinian double of Sergio Aguero and Higuain both to score from 6-1 to 8-1. Wolves v Newcastle Monday 8. Wolves are looking to do a league double over Newcastle for the first time since 1991-92, after beating them at St James Park in December, and over the 9 rounds of top-flight fixtures between that game and this weekend, only Manchester City, Tottenham, Liverpool, and Manchester United have collected more points and scored more goals than the men from Molineux. They're 8/11ths to see off the Magpies and worth sticking on an ACA if you can wait until Monday night. A 1-goal winning margin for the home side is also worth taking at 5/2. Best bets for the weekend: homes, Liverpool, Manchester City, Southampton, Luton, Lincoln, MK Dons 21. Bet Victor aways, Manchester United, Arsenal, Falkirk, Preston 14-1. Marathon draws, Brighton v Burnley, Blackburn v Bristol City, Derby v Hull 35-1. Several bookies anytime scorers, Rashford, Maara, Maine, Aguero 25-1. Several bookies with teams to score in the first half, Kilmarnock v Rangers, Forest v Brentford 19-1. Sky Bet from Oddschecker.com